Hello theater lovers, I'm Mark Beachy with the Maryland Theater Guide, and today I'm broadcasting to you from New York City at Manhattan Center in the Hammerstein Ballroom, where the 56th Annual Drama Desk Awards are about to take place. Now let's join our very own Joel Markowitz, who is on the red carpet, who is going to be interviewing the stars, including Harvey Fierstein, the host of tonight's event.
Can you say hi to your DC fans?
I love my DC fans. I played the national.
What's so great about the Drama Desk Awards? We show up all the time.
Because they include everybody. There were 274 shows eligible this year.
That's why I come. It honors everybody. It's the most inclusive, right?
Exactly. Because the theater community is really a tiny community anyway. It's so silly to make it,
I agree with
the size of your theater, but it was all created by men, and it's always about size with those boys.
Isn't that the damn truth?
It is.
When you come,
us women ran the world.
Thank you so much. This is for your fans in DC, where we're from in Maryland.
All right.
So you're going to be in a show here soon. Tell us about it.
July 14th, we open in the Shoemaker at the Acorn Theater. We'll be running it for about 27 performances. The play is about 9/11, and much more than that. It's also about the Finzi Contini. I'm playing an Italian Jew who was born in Rome. Prior to the Second World War, the Nazis came, confiscated all their land. My father, with his mother, remained there. They went to a camp, and I was sent to the United States. Eventually became a shoemaker, resenting all those things that had happened in the past. And then the day of 9/11, I owned a shoemaker shop on 46th Street, and it brings back all of those sour memories about what happened when he was a child.
God, I'm getting chills even listening to it.
Trust me.
Who wrote it?
It was written by Susan Charlotte. It's directed by Anthony Marsalis. I'm playing the shoemaker, and you see, firstly we did it as a one-act play, but because the reaction was so great, that I said to Susan, Susan, expand the play if it's humanly possible. She wrote an additional act, and the act...
And that's hard to do. Usually it never works.
They usually fail.
Right?
They fail, but I made my decision to do it, to come up to the Acorn Theater based on now what is the second act. That's how important the play is to me, and how wonderful that second act has come about. I can't wait to do it.
I'm going to come see it. I'm going to come looking for you after, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My best to Washington.
What's the difference between the London and the American production, the audiences? Are you seeing any differences?
Yes, I would have to say that the audiences here just let themselves go a little bit, well, actually a lot more, and they don't really care what other people think. It's not, no one feels, restrained. If you feel something, you do it, and it's been nice to hear the kind of response that we've been getting. And there was this lady who she just got up in the middle of one of the songs and started clapping along, and that's really...
You don't see a lot of that in London?
No, people clap, but they're a little bit more
reserved. They get crazy here, right? So
they get crazy, and we like it crazy, especially for our show.
So what's the next one? You have something coming up, right?
Yes, Olive and the Bitter Herbs. It's at the primary stages, and he wrote it.
Yeah. A comedy, a musical, a drama?
It's comedy, and we're getting a wonderful cast together. Dan Butler is going to be in it, and a wonderful actress, Marsha Jean Kurtz, and Richard
Mark Brokaw is the director.
Whoa. Richard Mazur's in it. And, it's at primary stages. This the 10th role I've written for Miss Halston.
I wonder why. So why do you keep writing for it? To be honest.
Well, first of all,
don't make her blush, though.
Well, first of all, I think she's just one of the most brilliant comedians ever, and she's just so much fun to be with. But even if she had no talent, she'd still get cast all the time because she's just so much fun. But it's a nice plus that she's also very good.
Do the great line from the Divine Sister? Will you do it for me from my partner?
What was that?
The thing you can't face.
We can't say that.
Say it, come on.
Well, it was a reference to an apocryphal story about the Sound of Music. But as Mother Superior, I asked Sister Cassius, "My dear, what is it you can't face?"
And when do you reply?
I don't reply. I just am startled to death.
Yeah. Someone I can look up to here, John Larroquette.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. You?
Whoever thought How to Succeed would come back again and be such a hit?
Well, it's such a good play. When I first read it, I realized how it stands the test of time. The lyrics are wonderful. the characters are alive and three-dimensional, and it's a good play, so it should last.
And working with Daniel, what's that like now?
It's great. Daniel is a workaholic like I am, and he is a phenomenally talented, obviously, and disciplined fellow, and he and I have gotten along very well.
That's good. So talk about Rob Ashford, because he directs and choreographs. So what did he put you through to learn those steps that he created?
Yeah, well, I worked every day. I sort of put the acting part of it aside until I knew that I had the singing and the dancing, at least to a point where people wouldn't have to carry fresh fruit to the theater and throw it at me. And then once I felt comfortable at that, we started working on the character, and he's a phenomenal director, and he knows what he wants, and he explains it well, and my job is to interpret the writer and his wishes.
So here you are nominated tonight for your role. Tell us about the person you play in this wonderful movie.
Well, he's a blustery, but I think good-hearted fellow who has reached a point in his life where he's, I think, kind of questioning his mortality, and he's taken in by a young lady and by a young man, but like any good musical, everybody ends up happy.
That's all that counts, right? So what was your favorite moment in that show?
I had two moments. My sons wrote a song, As Long As I'm With You, with the audience.
Right.
And then I did...
You want to do a little of it?
I did the soliloquy from Shylock in Yiddish.
Do a little. 20 seconds.
Wie ist Antonio?
Huh?
Wie ist Antonio? Mir haben gemacht, dass damit zurückgeben mein Geld. Also nicht kann von ihm rausreißen sein Herz. So one critic said, Mr. Pancino, you're great, but can you do it in Yiddish?
I'm nominated for my work in Angels in America, the revival of the Signature Theater that we did. I played Louis Ironson.
What a tough role, unbelievably tough role.
It was challenging and, as a result, really gratifying.
Why bring it back now, and how relevant is it today?
I think it's as relevant, if not more relevant, in a lot of ways. I mean, AIDS is an incredibly real problem, and HIV is on the rise again in the city here in New York for the first time, since the 80s, and we're not out of the woods by any means. I think people are less threatened by the fatality element of it, and so there's a little bit more relaxation that surrounds it maybe, but I feel like politically, socially, and culturally, we have a real responsibility to keep that dialogue going, to keep that conversation awake and alive in the city, and make sure that people are aware that there's still a lot of work to be done. And I think that Tony Kushner is an incredibly powerful voice to that end.
Tell people what you're nominated for in DC.
We're nominated for the music and lyrics of Catch Me If You Can.
All right. We all love this.
Orchestrations, I'm sorry.
Good to remember until this afternoon. Orchestrations.
And we're also here to cheer Norbert and Kerry and Tom on. So.
Great cast.
Yeah.
We had a blast at that. It was the night before it opened.
Yes,
I saw you out there.
Yes.
You were going, oh, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, I remember that night vividly.
But yeah, so what are you doing next?
We're doing a TV series with Steven Spielberg for NBC.
I'm hearing.
Yeah, called Smash.
It may be a really big smash, we're hoping.
Well, let's hope so. It goes on after The Voice, so everybody loves The Voice. So.
God, what great slot they gave you there.
And it really came out good. I mean, the pilot came out really, really good. We're very proud of it.
And it has a great Broadway cast in it. Megan Hilty, Christian Borle, and Brian Darcy James. They're all there.
So untalented group you have there.
Yeah.
It had this great run.
It did have an extraordinary run. We started in September in previews, and then we opened in October, and you're absolutely right. People never thought that we would make it. They never thought we'd make it to here till now. I think what happened was the people saw the play, and it was the people's voice, and it was the voice of the people on the street talking about the play. We called it the people's play, and that was what was really important to all of us who were doing this show. It meant the world to us that people came, and some people had never seen a show in their lives, some people had never been to Broadway, and we feel that we created a new paradigm for sports and theater together on Broadway.
Well, you know what? It brought back the time in football where money wasn't so important. That playing the game and the honor of playing the game was the most important thing.
What's always most important is playing the game, but not really just playing the game, but how you play the game, and that's what Vince Lombardi talked about. That's how he inspired his players. It is about how you operate as a team, how you be with each other, and that's very important.
So talk about your role, and what did you learn about your character that you didn't know?
I didn't know anything about her.
Who did you play?
I played Marie Lombardi. I played Vince's wife, but most people don't know a lot about Marie. She really did stay in the background in a lot of ways. She was there to support his vision. And I learned what it means to love somebody so much that you are willing to do whatever it takes to support them in their life.
Are they talking about taking it on the road?
They are talking about.
Will you go with it, we hope?
I don't know. I don't, at this point I don't know, because I have a couple of other things in the pipeline, so I'm not sure whether that will work out.
Well, take it to DC and please come for a day or two.
I love DC. I was there for Michael Kahn at the Shakespeare Theater, and I did Hedda, and I just loved being there.
You were fabulous.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Congratulations on your nomination.
I appreciate it.
What's Hyde, the Maryland Theater Guide here. And we're waiting for the film version or the filmed version to come to DC.
So am I.
So what's it like to be a director and then starring in a dress? How difficult is that?
Well, I tell you, I don't recommend it. The dress part is okay.
Right.
But directing something that you're also acting in is really stupid. But I seem to be somewhat addicted to it.
Well, Charles Bush was here too. He feels the same way.
Charles Bush.
That's right. I just did.
Yes,
Yeah.
he does.
He did the Divine Sister here.
But he didn't direct that.
No, he didn't. But he wrote it and starred it.
He wrote it.
You're right.
Yeah, that is slightly different from directing something that you're also in. You know. But he's brilliant, Charles Bush. He can do anything.
How did you make an effort to make your part?
Oh well, you know, I did kind of. When I wasn't filming Potter, I would do 9 hours a week of dance training. When I was filming, we'd do 3 hours on the weekend. It was so it was a lot of work for that. I mean, I've been doing singing lessons for kind of 3 years, and yeah, so it's been a long. It was a long time in terms of the preparation I did, and yeah, with a night like this, it's nice because it means people recognise the amount of work that went in.
Was it worth it all? All this hard work?
Very, very much so. Absolutely. For the amount of fun I'm having on stage every single night, it's more than worth it.
Daniel, what are you going to most miss about the Harry Potter experience?
I think just the fact that we were, you know, that group of people, not just the cast but the crew. Many of us were together for 10 years. So, you know, to not be in that unit of people anymore is sad, but other than that, you know, I think we've been there for 10 years and we're all kind of ready to move on.
What's your favorite thing to do in New York?
Sleep.
Well,
outside of that, I don't know. I mean, I just walk around the West Village really and go down and sit on the piers and around there. That's just my kind of just nice to relax really.
Now invite all these young people to come see the show. Tell them why.
Because it's a great time. You know, I think that a lot of what's so surprising to a lot of people that girls are saying their boyfriends are buying these tickets, you know, and that doesn't usually happen for a lot of musicals. But I think that this is really a show that is for musical lovers and musical haters. It's people who have never loved a musical and Mormons. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's for so many different people. I've talked to atheists, I've talked to bishops of churches, both loving this show.
Hey DC, you guys actually have my husband right now.
Who is it?
Sebastian Arcelus. He's at Arena Stage with The Time to Kill. They just opened last night.
I just saw it last night.
Bring him back. We miss him.
Who does he play?
He plays Jack Brigance. Jake Brigance, right? He's the lead.
He's amazing in it. Amazing.
So too. I think so too. I saw it early in previews, but we're doing, by the way, Meet Vera Stark over at Second Stage, so I'm not going to be able to see him until the very last week of the show.
Isn't that what the biz is all about, huh?
It really is. You're together and apart, together and apart.
You know what I didn't have a chance was to congratulate you on your Helen Hayes Award for Wicked.
Thank you so much. My gosh, that seems like a lifetime ago, but your theater community is exceptional there, so I was very honored, very honored.
We were honored to have you there.
Thank you so much. Thanks, you guys.
I'm Mark Beachy for the Maryland Theater Guide. Have a theatrical day.